Wallowa County ESD is unique, I think, for at least a couple of reasons. One, because we're a frontier ESD, we're frontier school districts. I mean, literally have school districts on the border of the state. And I think in terms of geographic challenges and being remote from any metro area and variety of services that maybe they have that aren't so readily available to us, those are challenges that we work to overcome and then bring those services or the availability of those resources to our schools.
So 4 districts are what we call our component districts, and that would be Wallowa, Enterprise, Joseph, and Troy. And Wallowa is sitting at, right around 300 kids, I believe. Troy is sitting at 4. Enterprise is sitting in the low 400s. Joseph is about 300. So all together, the students that are served in our region through the ESD is right around 1,100. And the reason why that number is larger than if you were to add up all those separate ones I just mentioned is we also provide service to all of the private schools and homeschool students. We have to count and track and make sure that they have the things that they need to do. So all K-12 kids in Wallowa County, whether they're in public school or not, the ESD to some degree provide the service for them. Service area that we provide services for is 3,500 square miles. So that's the 1,100 kids that I mentioned earlier is within those 3,500 square miles. And the overall goal of the ESD is to provide the best quality service to the students and families of Wallowa County at low to no cost to our districts.
Wallowa County ESD provides many services for our district. Special education services, fiscal services, technology, professional development, behavior services. A lot of services that as a small district, maybe we cannot afford to fund all those. So through the ESD, we're able to utilize them for those services to assist us.
Here at the ESD, we offer birth to 5 services and evaluations in conjunction with Intermountain ESD. Myself, as well as a speech and language pathologist, Krista Klein, evaluate students, whether they're referrals from parents or from preschool settings in regards to communication, cognitive, adaptive, fine or gross motor or social or emotional skills. So we have that range of students that we work with, birth to 5. And the model for the school age is that we have 6 special education teachers in Wallowa County. We have a speech and language pathologist. We have a speech and language pathologist assistant. We also have occupational therapists that we contract through the local hospital. We have nursing services that we can contract also through the hospital, as well as physical therapy services if needed. For more severe needs for students or services that we need to get assistance for, we use Intermountain ESD, which is out of Pendleton, and that would be for services, the autism spectrum disorder, deaf and hard of hearing services, vision, and or anything else that we might not have local services here for in Wallowa County.
Really, our special education services, primarily, almost all of them come out of the ESD. We do have some of our own teachers and instructional assistants, but all of the guidance comes out of the ESD. In addition to that, the fiscal department and the technology department are the services that we use the most, like every day, I would say. There's other services that we use on a regular basis, but those are the ones that we would struggle to get our job done without them helping on a daily basis.
First of all, people might think, what is fiscal services? But fiscal services is basically a department that handles the collection and disbursements of public money, because all the schools are funded with state school funds, property taxes, it's public money. And then you also in charge of the accounting for it and the reporting for it.
As a programs coordinator, I support K-12 curriculum, instruction and assessment within reading, writing, and math. This role provides support to all the districts in reviewing current curriculum and assessment, as well as the adoption of updated curriculum. This position has also played a large role in the high school pathways course, mathematical modeling and reasoning.
The way that I see as a teacher often is I'm really leaning heavily on the tech support and the tech team. And a teacher's day is so full of so many other things, and it's vitally important for me as a person who can't always troubleshoot technology on my own. It feels vitally important that I can make a phone call and get supportive help instantly.
So a lot of what we do is behind the scenes, you know? Every day they can pick up the phone and make a phone call, or get on the internet, or check their email, or take attendance. You know, those are all because of things functioning in the background. We have a person out in the schools 1 day a week to address their needs and stay on top of the recurring issues that are going on. We also file for funding and help subsidize the cost of the internet connections through the E-rate program. That's a lot of behind the scenes paperwork, but in the end, it saves us about 80% of the cost of our internet connections and things.
You know, my experience first as a teacher, the ESD, Wallowa County ESD, has been able to provide services that Wallowa couldn't afford as a school district. We couldn't afford the tech services. We had a tech person when technology first started, but all of a sudden the demand for what they could do outgrew the position.
I think Wallowa County ESD in our small rural communities really is a relationship that allows our ESD employees to work with kids directly, get more involved.
We currently have 4 students enrolled in Troy School District. The thing that I like to remind people when they visit Troy is, you know, it takes an hour and 20 minutes about to get there from Enterprise in good weather. And then once you get to the school, you have to realize that 45 minutes in either direction of that school building is how far the kids have to travel to get to the school. So the hour and 20 minutes it takes for us to get to Troy, those kids have to then go another 45 minutes just to get to the schoolhouse.
Something that the board talks about a lot, and something that I know our superintendent, the ESD superintendent, is thinking about, and that we're all making an effort to do, is to just help the community understand who we are and what we are, and that we are here to serve them.
Every administrator that ESD administrator I've worked with has always said, we're here for the students first. We're here to make sure the students get the best chance to learn, because every student has the ability to learn.
What makes Wallowa County ESD stand out is different from other ESDs in the state, I believe, is our connection and commitment to children here in Wallowa County. We're in the schools. Most of the staff here at the local ESD building gets out. We have interactions with superintendents and students on a weekly basis.
Wallowa County ESD, as I said before, feels like it's just part of our district. So we have people in our building from the ESDs on the regular basis. There are people who live in our community. Their parents have children in our schools, and so it's very much, I would describe maybe even as family-like. We would struggle to get the job done at school without the ESD. They're very, very vital.
What I enjoy most about being the superintendent for Wallowa County ESD is kind of the things I've touched on previously. You know, working in the schools. If I didn't have the ability to walk into Enterprise Elementary and see my own kids, right, or walk into Wallowa and see my nieces and nephews, that would be very hard. So just the personal touch of having that, you know, tangibly seeing the benefit of the work instead of just being stuck behind a desk all day.
I'm looking forward to the future of the Wallowa County ESD and the connections that we're making in the community and some of the things we have in the hopper, working with local agencies and our local hospital, and just providing the services for students here in Wallowa County. I'm looking forward to future generations, and we're expanding, and so we're making sure that we're meeting the needs here and getting what we need in place in order to serve the community.